All right, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing? It's here. You know, it's me, Chaos here. Just give me a few seconds as I, you know, brush up a few things. And it's going to be a very interesting discussion. Something that has not really been talked about. Maybe in YouTube, they might joke or brag about it. I don't know what the fuck it is, but I had to really sit back and I've been watching and listening to certain streams. And I make the conscious effort to say, yeah, I'm gonna do a stream on this and talk about this. Before we begin, let me open a few things. And I'm not sure if my background noise is too loud. Please let me know. Let me see. I'm just doing some last minute. I'm trying to find something. Okay, here it is. I've never seen this before. It's new. Interesting. Okay, I'm just trying to find my I'm gonna post something on the chat room right now. Okay, here it is. As I go into the chat room now, I'll post this right here. And also, for those who are new or watch the stream for the first time, please comment after every stream. Give your feedbacks, your thoughts and feelings. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and also hit the bell button. And for those that don't know, you might have to press the bell more than once if you are already a subscriber or the first time, because sometimes the algorithm might be funny and remove bells. It's possible. I can't really confirm, but this is what's really going on out here on the YouTube stream. So if you like the content and you notice what is happening or you don't notice any notifications, always check if the bell is being pressed. That's my solution to that. And I will probably open the dialogue for conversation. I might open and share a link for Discord. And if people want to jump on here and give their little take on it, I'll give y'all the Google Hangout link. Yeah, why not? All right. Now, let me check everything's going good. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. BA gave me a hit back, so I'm gonna like that. All right. Let me if my background sound loud, please give me a notification and say yes, no, or a 1, so I know that nothing's really interfering with the sound. And I might share my screen to really talk more into this, because this is a learning stream. We want to be educated. We don't want to always go for a tantrum or a rant. Feel me? Okay, guess we could start. All right. Jerking off. Mm, mm, mm. Is the taboo amongst society or amongst Western society. It might not be to Western people, aka European people, or we call classify as white people, because they have a well preferred history of beating their meat, especially the European man. As y'all know, they are no stranger to beating their own meat. You could tell by their movies how they behave and how they behave towards, you know, women in general, and not only women but children, which I find very atrocious and very disgusting. If you think about it. But when it comes to us as race people, we catch on and do very nasty acts and engage in the same unfortunate behavior. We engage in it so much, we sometimes might feel shame of doing it, or we might just brag on doing it. But nonetheless, amongst us, it's very shameful. Maybe shame is not enough amongst our communities because, you know, nowadays people look at it as to get their nuts off, basically. Um, but this is what this is my take on all of this because I create the title of the subject matter, and it's going to hurt a lot of males' feelings. Jerking off is not a good thing, black men. It's never a good thing. It's not only a taboo thing, but it shows that, you know, when you're unable to really go the actual and proper route to getting that or busting that splendid nut, you're gonna turn to yourself and say, "Let me just release." Hell, men release so much that we sometimes bust out our natural essence, our spinal fluid, our brain fluid. Every time we like to sit there and bust one off or release, we can make ourselves stupid, or if we're not fucking careful, make ourselves impotent. Well, we might potentially not careful drain all the testosterone out of our system. And you know, one thing I've learned or noticed that if you hear any other men, or we could let's call ourselves gentlemen for the sake of conversation. Black men, we're gentlemen on this. When we up here saying if we have to do things over again, or if we try and get our money up, which is fine, or you know, refrain from actual sex and say they rather just say fuck it, jerk off and then bust a nut by ourselves. And don't forget and screw these women if you can get women or not. Uh that's not a good idea. That's not a good thing. And this is why chaos is saying why. Because when you engage in behaviors, you develop habits. Some habits are very hard to get away from, and sometimes hard to get out of your system. Because once you start engaging in certain habits, because you're not able to, you know, bust one in a chick inside of her or outside of her or in her mouth or wherever you want to let that come go, you start develop a certain what's the word? A liking of seeing yourself explode. Hell, you might like yourself doing it so much that you don't have this. You don't even have the desire to even go out and bust one in an actual female, rather inside of her or outside of her, or all types of places you want to make that bad boy fly. This is what you'll do, and we're not gonna say the YouTubers' names. Y'all would know because y'all watch enough streams, a lot of streams. You might hear them talk about it. You might hear it from a millennial, or you might hear it from a Generation X. Nonetheless, we hear now, we hear the notion that if you're not getting the coochie, or what they call the pussy, you just go and sit there and say, well, since I'm not getting them, and I need to get either the money up, or I just need to get one off. You just sit there, let one off. Now most of these dudes will brag and make fun of it. They'll say they got the lotion next to them. Or they get the baby, wherever the hell they use that. Oh boy. I tell you, man, even talking about this shit's funny as hell, to be honest with you. And a lot of us, or just enough men, they are ashamed to talk about it. Some, not all. Some be flat out and admit it, and then people look at them funny. Hell, the females will look at you funny. Somebody has let one off. And mind you, I'm gonna go in the male side of things right now. After this, I'm gonna go to the female sides, and I'm gonna go pull up some articles on this. We're gonna look through Google about this. Is it a good or bad thing? Some dudes take pleasure, say, if you're not getting mine, I'm just gonna let one off. Some sit there once their either girlfriends, or hell, even their family members, if they're sisters, come across and stumble across their own brothers, cousins, busting one nut right in there. It can be embarrassing sometimes. And some dudes will have them stories where they're in the bedroom one day and they had to let one off, and all of a sudden somebody comes in the door and they see it and they just act like they weren't doing nothing. That's the real embarrassing. Well, when you sit there and you just doing that stupid shit. The dudes don't even lock the door. They just sit there and they be making hard ass noise, and you wonder, and somebody in the next door say, "What the fuck is that noise?" And you making noise, and then they still and bust the door open, and you up there playing with yourself. It's the most shittiest and embarrassing form any boy or man could face. When somebody stumble on you, you up there busting that. Shameful. 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 Oh man. But you had to laugh at this. Because think about this. And I always gotta think deeply, where we get this shit from? How the hell we come from a culture, us as black people, where at times, we had to sit there, be groomed into manhood to eventually show that you're able to not only provide, but learn to protect. And then eventually you take on a mate, you marry in the culture, you have kids, and life is good. We came a far way as a race of people from this to now glorifying this. And I'm not saying a lot of content creators or people on these YouTube streams be saying, oh, I'm gonna keep it real. Some do advocate you have to, if you are a person that's in your 20s not thinking girls, you should bust a nut, jerk off. Now your good friend Chaos here. I, as a man, I can tell you, if you're in your 20s and you're trying to better yourself, I'm not gonna, as a person, advocate if you're not doing it already, or if you're doing it or have not done it. I want to tell you, start fuck around your dick and jerk off yourself. No. Now I tell most people, be careful with the advice you get from any man, any age, whether millennial or Gen Xer. You as a man, you always, if you have not done this behavior, you're in a good spot. Matter of fact, you're in a perfect spot. Because now, not only you hold whatever little essence you have in your body, but you're able to think and operate clearly. Yes, sex is a natural urge. You need to fuck. You know what I'm saying? And like any man, I'll tell you, say, please, if you're going to fuck responsibly. Find a girl or get a girlfriend if you can. And mind you, we have people out here on other streams will tell you, said, lie to a chick to get in their pussy. I'm not telling you should lie to a woman. Just be you. You know what I'm saying? And if she asks a question, what you look at, keep it honest with her. If you're a young brother over the age 21 or 20, your mind should not be always perpetuated on sex. And the reason why I'm saying this, because there are better things you could do, especially if you're not being productive. You see, one thing these dudes don't really say enough to black males, besides get your money up, you should always be a productive male in society. If you don't got a job, always the next route is to start buy the books. And if you can't afford no books, use the internet. Isn't it a beautiful thing? Power technology. We have laptops in our disposal where we could just log in and then boom, Google, find a book. Or we go Amazon, Kindle, there, book there. Or we got our smartphones. We turn on the internet, the YouTube. We find information. Use everything that's in your disposal. You should not be lazy in the 21st century. You cannot afford to be lazy. Or like any real man will tell you, you can't afford to fuck up in the 21st century. I'm just going to be known and keep it real with you. There should not be no excuse for any black male in the end of the 20th century, now we're in the 21st century, to be less productive. There's always something you could do. And I'm not going to go into the piece with the porn, because the porn is just as bad as most of these dudes that's jerking off to anything and anything. Hell, even including porn. I'm talking about you have to be productive as a man or a young man in society. And I'm saying this because I'm just laying it out here for y'all. And just keeping it real with y'all. And I'm telling y'all, if any person say you should be jerking off, if you have not done jerk off, if you never jerked off in your life, don't do it now. Don't even start. Don't even think about it. Don't contemplate it. I know it's hard. You get those urges. Yes, yes. A few remedies you could do. You could start doing some work. You see, one thing you understand about urge. That means you have an exorbitant amount of energy that you need to utilize. And there's many ways to do that. One, you can cool down your energy. And I hear stories about you go take the cold fucking showers. That's one way to cool down that. Another, start doing some running or jogging or get your heart rate pumping. Do some exercise like, push-ups, sit-ups, punching bags, all that. You find these tools and you utilize them. And the reason I'm telling you is because you got to find things to occupy your time and the energy you put out. And I feel we don't do enough, or we don't guide our youth in this, especially if they're at that age during teenage, when they're reaching that puberty stage, going on to when they're reaching that they're able to now to, let's say, knock up the opposite sex, a female. which usually in the early teenage, like 13, 14, when you're producing sperm and testosterone and all that stuff, you're really in that mind where you getting that urge, you know? And usually physical activity is the best way to calm down any urge. Also, another thing most people should do, and if you don't have your father around, my advice: stay away from any form of images that will entice your arousal. What I mean by this, because we live in a digital age and we have information and technology with the internet, stay away from all or any known social media sites that promotes and have pornographic images. The reason why I'm saying is because one thing is evident: porn is actually free out here on the internet now. I noticed this. I've noticed that I pay attention very closely on this. And one of the few things that what porn does to the mind, it entices you to sit there to screw and give you the urge to have some to look for sex. Or if a person that's are engaged in what they call jerking or masturbation, what you want to call it, it'll urge you more to sit there bust nut through the image of a television, high definition screen, or a computer laptop, or even your phone. That's what it's designed for, to give you that urge, to entice your urge, especially if you're a young male under or over the age of 21 that has never had physical sex. It will urge you to sit there, release some way or the other. This is very dangerous. And it's so dangerous, it is dangerous to the mind of youth. And I'm not talking about the ones that already got sexually molested. I'm talking about the ones that have not got sexually molested. That's a different story. Because usually when you get sexually touched at a young age as a boy, it also creates the desire for you to sit there, make you more sexual promiscuous. So if you as a person never been touched in your life, never had some, or don't know what is all that stuff, you are in a perfect spot. You're in good shape in your life right now. Because now all your energy devoted could be diverted into something more constructive. And a lot of people that have to sit there, whack off all that stuff, they've been already sexually enticed through this so-called Western culture with the help of television, which, you know, with internet, with porn, and, you know, some other factors. That's how it happens. That's how this junk works. And mind you, me talking about this subject, it's not friendly. People are going to get very turned off on this. A lot of dudes that's a viewer of my page on YouTube might get offended by this. I don't give a fuck. And some women are going to be offensive when I start talking about this next. It's name of the boys that are men first before I deal with ladies. Because these are things we don't really analyze and talk about enough. Even the thing where, you know, you hear women calling these youths incels. And usually incel life, if they're not getting no coochie on a regular basis, they are doing one or two things. That either they're jerking off too much on themselves through the help of porn or other means of media outlets or magazines, or they're now turned to using sex toys like what do you call those things? Fake coochies and sex dolls. And we all know last year that was the biggest talk about last year, the sex dolls. And if you know how that conversation didn't last long, it kind of died down. And trust me, some of these dudes that be, you know, liking that anime stuff or doing something, they might like those sex dolls. Hell, they might buy these big ass robot or androids they call sex dolls. And trust me, those things look real as hell. They're expensive, but they're real as hell. So they're thinking in mind, why not? I'm not getting them on a regular basis. Let me go spend this money, get this sex doll. This is what they're thinking. You know, that's in their psychology. They said, fuck it, let me get a sex doll. Since I can't get no woman and I need to turn to something else, I'm gonna get me this little bot. We're gonna have a good time. I might have to clean it out once in a while and I'll handle my business. It's very sick. I tell you, we live in very much an artificial world. And the only thing this artificial world produce more artificiality and make people want to be not only fake body wise, and trust me, the fakeness now with the bodies are serious. I remember when I was watching what's his name, Mr. Angel, and he talking about how now these plastic surgeries get so real now you can't tell now, and it should because technology improved, it got advanced. So why not? Why not? So now you notice that women that used to have silicone titties, they got these new. I forgot what Angel said what it was, but I was listening. But it's one of those type of things that they have out now. So you think about it. A lot of people are being fake. They are fake in practice and not how they care themselves, but now they want to be fake in nature in regards to their body because their body might not be good enough. So they say, screw it. Let me get and pay to fix myself. I mean, really, literally, fix themselves. Oh, hold on a second. 1 second. Okay. I'm going to drop Discord here. I'll open Discord for those who have Discord. They could join here in Discord. Okay. I'm gonna drop it. Yeah, one time is yeah, one time's good enough. Yeah, that'd be good. But like I said before, as these males grow into adulthood and they're more ingrained into Western culture, this term jerking off is really a thing of the past now. And it's gonna be a point where most dudes, if they have not been doing it right, not gonna be ashamed of it. It's like second nature. As you can see the rhetoric that's going on here. Well, a lot of these cats on here on not only on social media but also on YouTube about the rage. They're having what they call pharmacy rage, or what they call the same red pill and the blue pill, whatever these pills, you know. And it's funny how black people are talking about pills, and we the last advocacy talking about they want to use drugs. That's not a story though. But you know, and the funny thing about these pills, things that wear this pill, that pill, isn't ironic? A lot of these cats talking about their this pill, and they how they have a problem with black females, but it was a black female that created this phenomenon of red pill, blue pill. I still can't wrap my finger around that bullshit. Really, I can't wrap it around. Mm. Mm, 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 mm. But you're intelligent man. No, thinking black man. Last time I checked, I think a black man doesn't come or get his ideals from quote unquote the what it calls black woman. A black woman calls them bitches. You should come up with something that's totally new, not something that's already laid out. But that's my opinion. I'm just saying. But yeah, pills. Before I even heard about a pill, this is the ret that's been going on for almost a year, maybe two, maybe three, since I've been really acclimated to a lot of these spaces. And I don't really label myself as any of these pills. Now I think about it. Because as much time people say you're this pill, that pill, you're that pill, that pill. I say, listen, I don't take drugs, niggas. I'm saying I don't have this concept of taking a pill. If you got a headache, you go take some aspirin. Maybe that's the only pill you might fuck with. But these pills, nah, I don't know about that. Nah, that's some weirdness. Anyway, but like I was saying before, yeah, jerking off is bad. It's not a good thing. And we're gonna go to Google on the jerking off, and then we're gonna talk about these females about this masturbation. So as I find it and share my screen, give me a second. Okay. And they got a whole bunch of things. They have the dangers of masturbation, the benefits of masturbation, the masturbation side effects, the negative side effects of masturbation. So let's look at the negative. We don't want to deal with positive because, like I said, for the purpose of the stream, a lot of people don't understand, a lot of men don't understand, if you have to constantly be busting off just to release, you have issues. So the first article that I will share right now, so I share my screen. Let me. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I did not lower this. Okay. Okay, separated. Oh, let me get rid of this commercial. Before I share this, let me do this. Oh, sharing now. Okay. Give me 1 second. Let me just do this one quick thing. Okay. Okay, let's read along, people. The negative side effects of masturbation. Though many people still feel ashamed when it comes to masturbation, either in doing it or discussing it or both, is actually a very normal and healthy part of human sexuality. In Western culture, it is, maybe. But if you understand Eurocentric culture, you know that there are known advocates of busting off. This is not a black thing or quote unquote African thing, which a lot of black people don't want to use the word African. I understand it, but we're black people. That last time I checked, we were coming from a different continent. Either we're Africans that were here already, or we're not European people or white people. Let's read. It is actually a very normal and healthy part of human sexuality. In addition to being a stress reliever, masturbation can also educate you on your preference, your unique pleasure zones, and the various strokes, pleasures, sensations, masturbation techniques that you can enjoy, and the worst. Regardless of whether you engage in mutual masturbation with a partner or simply on your own, engaging in is an active and highly recommended by countless sex experts. Consider how it could make you more comfortable and turn in your own sexuality. And if you're in one, the sexual aspects of your romantic relationships, as sex and relationships therapist Courtney Getter explains, masturbation is healthy in a number of ways. For the self, masturbation is a way to explore your body and sexual interests without the pleasure of needing to perform. or pleasures or pleasing another person. This allows one of them to share with a partner what sexual satisfaction them that satisfies them, which can then improve communication and satisfaction in a relationship. When a partner is absent, masturbation also allows one to continue fulfilling sexual needs and desire. Finally, masturbation revitalize stress or release stress and tension, as well as improving or overall mood. And before I continue, what do you think the purpose of sex for? Now, I know a lot of black people. Wait, hold on. I know a lot of black people be discussing and saying that that we have this out of wedlock in our community, which is in the almost 80% range. And said black people are the only ones that have out of wedlocks than other races of people. But how sad that most people don't understand that black people are not even the majority of this country. It's really European of European descent of this country, or the majority of this country. And the ones that have more than the so-called 80% wedlock, the white race has just as close or probably even greater out of wedlock. And those who want to get verification, you must look at the CDC to find that. And if it doesn't tell you, look other sources. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because we're not really looking into everything in aspects. We only focus on us and say we are the problem. Just like the media talks about that we're the problem, and regards black men are most violent, we're the most terrorists, we're most sex addicts, all this stuff. And it'll say bad things about black women also, but they don't really talk about their community. And the reason why is that because they operate from what they call code. And to rule and to keep people know said that they are the almighty power and perfect people. Because this is how society works. They shape the good guy and bad guy. And they keep telling you who's good, who's bad. You're always going to give favor to the good guy instead of the bad guy. That's how the world works. Get me? So let's continue this reading. Relative. The truth about masturbation reveals. As with any of these true pleasures in life, however, moderation is key. If you're a masturbator to an excessive degree, you could run the risk of not only interfering with your daily routines, but your overall perception of the fulfillment too. It all depends on your approach and how likelihood you are becoming absent about it. People can have negative relationships with masturbators, particularly if it means you are neglecting other areas of your life. If you masturbate in the morning and make your make yourself late for work, or the other relationship in your life feels neglected, that can be a challenge. Explain sex expert, oral sex instructor, and manager operator, and outreach of self-serving toys, Hunter Raleigh. Masturbation and sex are two different practices, and so are porn and real life sex. Porn is not a representation of how most people have sex in real life. And everybody should know that if people are a constant person that watch porn, and really this should be common sense after a while. It is make believe. Matter of fact, it is real, but everything you see they doing it is not really cut and paste. They take breaks, they eat food, then they continue to fucking. It's not like they do one session where you bump and grind. And no, that's not how porn works. Let's continue. As long as you keep realistically expectations about what you see in porn versus what you expect from your partner in real life, there shouldn't be much of an impact to your sex life. To be clear, masturbation is healthy. The only issue is when it disrupts your lifestyle, your emotion, your relationship, and your overall happiness. Here are guides to possibly negative and side effects of masturbation and what to do if you find yourself in these situations. How masturbation can affect your physical health. Number one, While your perception of masturbation might be the feel good vibe it releases once you reach orgasm, Riley says there are plenty of other positive side effects of spending some time below your belt. Masturbation has lots of positive, healthy benefits, including stress relief, help to get to sleep, reduce tension, boost immune, and more, she say. But if you're masturbating so forcefully and intensively, perhaps as a way to avoid other issues in your life that you don't want to deal with or accept, you might cause some damage to your penis and testicles. Kohler Singer, expert sexpert of sash.com. Before we go, if you know, and let's keep it real here, there are people out here that sit there, beat their meat so hard that they potentially could bleed their fucking shit. That's an emotional and that's a issue psychologically. And so keep in mind that there are people that are chronic and very fierce beat offs. Let's continue. Okay. Uh, okay. The compulsive habits might experience rash, redness, irritation to your genitals that can be extremely painful, especially if you can't keep yourself from masturbating. Even when you're raw and flanky, not in the mood, though the abusive, compulsive must touch myself mentally is much more emotionally charged than physical, inspired to aftermath of your private area. Could be extensive. That's why seeking the advice of a therapist is recommended. And if you notice any irritation beginning, using a lubrication to ward off the symptom while you recover. And mind you, as a therapist, now you know damn well a lot of people in say I don't really go seek a therapist, especially when it comes to black community. When we hear about go see a head doctor or a psychologist, it's like kryptonite to black people, men and the women. The men and women. We don't like to see therapy as race people. We might go to doctor possibly to get checked, but in regards to checking our mental health, no. We feel we gotta go see Jesus for that. Yeah, sad. And if you're a chronic jerk offer that fall under what I read in this paragraph, you need to go see a goddamn therapist. Besides any other emotional issues you have in life, you need to go see him for that. He or she, whoever. Let's continue. Number 2, how masturbation can affect your psychological health. You might take the time to study and pay close attention to the reactions of your partner as you negative difference enormous zones of her body. But how much TLC do you give yourself? When you use as a method of determining new ways to pleasure or please yourself, that you can be translated into your sexual experience. With a partner, masturbation can actually build your self-esteem. Masturbation can increase self-confidence because you don't have to rely on another person for sexual release and satisfaction. If you know how to please yourself, it can be easier to help a partner learn how to please you, which is a win for everyone, Riley explains. And, the lady's going to say, yay! And the dude's going to say, ooh, all that nonsense. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Let's continue. But if you have leftover guilty feelings from your childhood where your sexuality is suppressed, or if you feel dependent on your habits, you might find yourself struggling in the opposite direction. You might even rely heavily on jerking yourself off, that you neglect to seek emotional assistance when you need. It is a fine other way to manage your mood. Since masturbation doesn't improve mood and create a sensation of happiness, some people could begin to use masturbation too frequently, and it could become an unhealthy stress reliever. Gator says. Number three, how masturbation can affect your sex life. Oh, this is the really killer one. If y'all know, if y'all go for other YouTuber streams, they'll tell you about your sex life while masturbating. All right, y'all know the YouTubers. I don't have to explain or call names. Y'all watch enough YouTube, you know, y'all subscribe to a bunch of people. You will understand this. Typically speaking, when you use as a part of your sexual life and welcome by an open-minded, curious, and supportive partner, masturbation between both parties can be a great addition to your sexual toolbox. In fact, many couples utilize the positive benefits of masturbation in a bedroom and perhaps even get turned on and aroused by watching their partner touch themselves, also known as mutual masturbation. Masturbation can improve you and your partner experience with sex, such as exploring and communication what each other enjoy and most increase emotional connection between partners and explore other ways to experience sexual pleasure, Jader explains. And the only issue when masturbating creates unrealistic expectations of what a sex life should be like, feel like, look like, and taste like. It is true that porn and real sex stimulating different sensations and being able to differentiate between the dual realities is important. You also need to be aware that your partner doesn't have your hand, doesn't know your body, and doesn't fully know every which way to touch you that will lead you to a grand finale. Many men masturbate when they are single and don't have a sexual partner. During this time, you as many use their hand to masturbate and they can control the speeding and grip. Once you have a new partner, men may experience trouble achieving orgasm and ejaculation when since the vagina and rectum offers a different feeling than a hand. Even your partner hand is not the same as your hand. Unconsciously, you are expecting a certain type of stimulation. Jeter said, to ratify this, Jeter recommends adding varieties to your masturbation, such as using a masturbation sleeve or condom, or use a opposite hand at times. She also says, if you watch porn while masturbating, you should consider changing up the type of porn you watch as well. Another way it can be difficult for your sex life and your relationship is when you're weeding through a rough patch with your partner. If you already fight a bricking more than often, Keter says the act of masturbation could push your partner further away from you. Couples need to work through the other areas of relationship conflict before trying to improve the sexual relationship more times than not. Resolving other areas of conflict can naturally improve the sexual relationship. And she notes, and your partner is going through a period where they're just not in the mood. In mine seems like no brainer to take pleasure off of them by taking care of business yourself, but it might have a contrast impact. According to Jeter's, masturbation could lead to feeling less connected with your partner, trigger low self-esteem in the other partner, leading to lack of communication and partner sex. If masturbation becomes more routine than partner sex, she shares masturbation is not the problem, though. Finding ways to meet the need of each partner for the benefit of the relationship and improve on communication of needs. And let me see how many. And there's another article, next article, but let's go to the last one. Number 4, how masturbation can affect your life in general. In addition to what happens behind closed doors and in your own head, too much masturbation can also be disruptive to your life, your routine, and your attitudes towards friendship and work. Though it is a rare extreme case, Geeter said if you're neglecting various parts of your life to spend more time masturbating, watching porn, and touching yourself, then you have reasons to feel concerned. If you find yourself neglecting other important areas of life, such as work, relationship, and social life, or if you feel shame or guilty when masturbating, it is time to seek therapy again. It's not uh, cleansing or ceasing masturbation necessarily. Just find ways to improve stress management, such as adding other beneficial forms of exercise. Which do you recommend? Uh, Let me see what's this next article. Let me make sure. If it's not an article, I'm just going to skip it. Okay, that's it. So let me go back and unstop share my screen. All right. That was somewhat educational. Now, I think I'll stop here for the men side. As y'all know what I read, you know the consequence. And there's so-called benefits, but like I said before, if you're not a man or boy of any age that never touch yourself and bust off on yourself, you're in a good spot. You're in a good position right now in your life. But for those that are chronic or constant masturbators, through one of the following: watching too much porn, you know, not getting a girlfriend or whatever you want to call it, label it, then by all means, the best bet to correct this is one, therapy, or you find other routines to relieve yourself and stop with the constant nutting or busting off yourself, whatever you want to call it. Those are the only solutions you have as a male, a black male in today's age. You know. Now, for the females, I need my water for this one. Ladies, 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 black females. Now you know, ladies, besides the men that should not be constantly jerking off themselves, you too should not be constantly playing with your coochie like that. In the same manner, just like the males, your male counterpart. Because there are consequences to you as well. Just as bad as the men, the side effects you experience will be just as bad. Maybe not worse, but just as bad. And before I continue, I know a lot of women are going to hate this. I might get some dislikes from this. Because this is something that's not being talked about, not advocated. I know there are streams right now that dedicate to women using toys, particularly silicone toys, you know, dildos, or whatever you want to call those. Even the ones that with the special vibrators they use nowadays to. And have y'all noticed with a lot of females that use these electronic devices, it's like they don't get enough. They have to constantly, what's the word? Buy other toys and increase the doses for their coochie. Have you noticed that? It's not the toy that already has the battery that makes it vibrate, but now they had to get other tools, one with a special little hook on it, or whatever you want to call it, to get that extra stimulation. And I noticed that, not many people are watching this, but I noticed now no one's watching. I think I might strike a nerve right now. That probably is one that is using these toys right now as we speak. But ladies, if you never had sex in your life, besides if you had sex with a man, I might understand why you might use a toy. because not everybody here in today's society, here living in the Western region we call America, are virgins. Hell, a lot of black females are not virgins. Just like non-black females are not virgins in this society. The reason why I say this is because, we are bred in a society that promotes and advocates sex, promiscuity. All a result of the 60s revolution with, the feminist movement, all this nonsense. So it advocates promiscuous behavior for women. And a lot of women that either were not, and remember, this does not really go into women that have been molested. This is going for women that have not been touched, whether if you fall under this category or not. If you have not been sexually touched, this you might be in a good shape as well, just like the males that have not been sexually touched and they have not lost their virginity, you might be in a good spot. It's hard in the 21st century to find people that, because as you get older, you go seek a mate, whether in high school or in college. Unless you're an awkward female that's not select or non-select, that no man will want to really give you no dick. It's one or the other. And if you're awkward and you never had sex in life, you're in a good spot. Could now say you, depending if you improve whatever thing as in your life, whether it's your mind or your looks and your body, which this is somewhat a problem in America, especially what we call Black America. Let's say most of our women, our sisters are overweight. Okay, there are ways to change that. They can correct that, but that takes work. You're not gonna just sit on your ass and think that if the way your body is or your looks, that it's good enough where I say, any man's gonna gravitate me and I'm good. I don't have to prove or nothing, my image or my body. No, no, sweetie, you got to always be self-improvement. Just like some of these dudes that by choice they have to self-improve, by no choice, you too have to self-improve. You can't be just the regular woman out here in the world and think that you're gonna gravitate to an actual mate that wants you or take you seriously. I've seen it. I've seen some sisters, not enough, take pride in their image and their health, where they eventually do get an actual man that will take them in, and eventually go as far as maybe give them a ring, possibly, if they play their cards right. But the ones that don't improve in their image and their health and their life, they get what they deserve. And sometimes they might not even get no man at all if their attitude stinks. So what's the next step a woman does if they are engaged in what we call masturbation? Because women don't jerk off, they masturbate. What happens, they go countless nights in their bed, hugging the pillow. They might sometimes engage playing with their coochie with their fingers. And that's not good enough. They'll sit there by the toys, which predominantly are made of silicone, which is very deadly to the body. That's another story. And they engage in letting off, bust nuts on themselves. And they think that is releasing stress. Yes, you release some stress, but you release something else in the process. You release that same spine, brain fluid, just like the man in your body, which eventually will make you dumb or retarded if you constantly or chronic masturbate, ladies. Yes, it's true. Yes, yes. This was what happened to you. Yes. You say, "Oh, chaos. You saying I'll get dumb in time if I constantly keep busting nuts on myself?" Yes, baby. Yes, yes, and worse. That will happen. And not only that, you'll lose connection to your pussy. Just like the woman said, you want to reconnect, know how your body works. Yes, but that don't say you must abuse it as a woman. You should not be using your pussy by yourself by constantly busting nuts, busting pure orgasm with yourself, with your fingers or the toy, because you could overstimulate your pussy, and then your pussy will not be respond to any real dick going inside your pussy, girl. Yes, this is a true fact. So when you hear women talking about say, I can't go, I can't orgasm, or you hear 80% of women enjoying that orgasm. I always ask, okay, out of 80% women, how many of the 8% is playing with their own pussy before the age of 18? I wait. Can we get an answer? No, because we're not really mature in asking the right questions. The only reason you will not come properly stimulated by the opposite sex is because one or two things: either you're abusing your pussy too much, or you never had sex before. And a lot of women that are not virgins in society, they are doing one or the other. And since they're now using toys, sex toys, and the toys are getting more advanced with technology and stuff, they're going to very much overstimulate their coochie. They're going to overstimulate so bad that just the sight of a man and a man touch them is not going to be enough. Hell, they're going to probably be disgusted. So when men ask ladies about if they play with themselves, and some keep it real honest, or some say they do and they play with toys, brothers, be cautious with that. Most likely you're dealing with a very much a chronic masturbator if you're not one yourself, dudes. And when two people that masturbate heavily, obviously you're not going to have a good sex life. It's sad to say, but that's the truth. Sorry to tell you that. The best remedy for most women to get around that, I say the opposite what you do, what I tell the men. You're going to have to find other activities to release your energy, to revitalize and reprogram your pussy again. And all you're going to reprogram that bad boy is you got to stop touching your pussy with your fingers and with the toys. Now I know that's a thing that is not nice to say, or a thing that a lot of females that's going to go back to the playback to hear this. But that is the only solution that is going to revitalize and correct your own coochie. Time is the best precaution to fix everything. When you lay off and stop doing certain things, your body has an innate trigger to reset itself. Anytime you do a fast, what are you doing? You're resetting your whole body. And once your body is reset, you can now take on food that was easy to digest and move properly through your organs and through your intestines. And it will give you a hard time for the ones that it's not good food, will upset your system. Because what you're doing, you're forcing the body to reset itself. The human body is a very special tool made by the creator. And the best thing to do to refix anything, you have to stop doing certain things. Because it forces the mind, the body, and all parts of the organs to start resetting itself, including your private area. And if you don't believe me, ladies, if you're a chronic masturbator, do the 60 to 90 day, do the 60 to almost a year challenge with your own pussy. If you don't get sex often, don't play with your pussy for over 90 days to over a year. And watch what happens when you let a man screw you. You're gonna find wonders that you didn't know you could bust a nut or you get an orgasm like ever before. Mark my word, you try that. And please, if you have tried this, please leave a comment. Or if you ever experienced and did this yourself, please let me know. Give me feedback. And I want you to be honest. Don't tell me no fuckery that you said it didn't work. I'm gonna ask you, do you throw away all your toys? You get rid of all the toys now? And trust me, I will know, because most women don't tell the truth what they do anyway. I don't give a crap if you say you don't have sex or no. You're still engaged in some form of nut busting. Just because a man there fuck you, that means you're still not getting off. You understand me? So don't be fool, fellas, that most women said they're celibate and all this nonsense. If they're celibate, that means you're jerking off yourself. You're masturbating yourself. Because the minute you start engaged in this game or this play we call sex, all hands and all bets are off. that means now you're prone to always get that release as a human being. And no way to control this release, you're going to have to stop releasing. You get me? So that's all I will say in tonight's broadcast. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned some. And before I log off, let me just check my Discord. Discord is open. If anybody was trying to get in Discord, let me know now. Like always, for those that are watching the stream for the first time, please leave a comment. Any thoughts and feelings to what was I said on this broadcast? If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to Chaos Stream. Also, like this video. You know, I think this will be helpful for those who will watch it and go back to the playback. But that's pretty much it. And also, I will leave my Cash App in the comments of this video and other videos. So please, support the channel. I have some more content coming on your way. Be on the lookout. But other than that, let the chaos reign.